Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be reviewing Green Stuff World's Colour Shift Metal Paints. I've been kindly sent the set 1 and set 2, so I want to say a huge thank you to Green Stuff World. If you check the description box down below, you'll find a direct link to their web store and you can find out more about these paints and other great products that they sell on their web store. Okay, so let's have a look around the box. So on the back of set 2 we can see we have Mystic Gold, Emerald Getaway, Tropical Green, Red Goblin, Storm Surge Green and Martian Green. On set 1 we have Burning Gold, Cobalt Blue, Psychotic Illusions, Toxic Purple, Celestial Azure and Nebula Copper. So what I'm going to do guys is, what's highly recommended with these paints is to actually use a gloss black primer. So I'll be using a gloss black primer to prime these, and if you don't have a gloss black primer you could always add a gloss varnish over the top of a black base coat, which is a possibility to do that, and then you could paint them metallics over it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to prime these and then we're going to come back and we're going to have a look at the colour shift paints and see how they perform. Okay, so back in a moment. Okay guys, as you can see I've primed the Space Marines, or the Primaris Marines as they are, in Alclad's glossy black primer, and as you can see they're quite glossy indeed guys, and hopefully this should lead to a really nice smooth base for the colour shifting metallics to go over. So I'm just going to put some of one of the colours in the airbrush cup and we'll start airbrushing. So first of all guys, I'm going to make sure that I give the Storm Surge Green a really good shake to make sure that the paint's fully mixed. Now there's no agitators in these bottles, but you can add your own. But it's really important, especially with metallic colours, that they're thoroughly mixed, because the metallic particles separate from the medium quite easily. So always shake your paints before you spray guys. Okay, I've placed a Storm Surge Green into the airbrush cup. I'm just going to slowly build up the colour. That looks really cool guys. I don't know whether the camera's picking that up too well, but there's like a blue, very slight blue hue that's picked up when you change the shape, the angle of the miniature. That looks really cool guys. And the colour itself, the green, is absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to let that dry guys, and I'm going to come back in with one more coat and we'll see what it looks like. Okay guys, so I'm coming back in with the second layer. going to let that dry, guys. Okay guys, so this is the Storm Surge green, and as you can see it looks absolutely awesome. Now this hasn't got a really strong colour shift colour on it. I believe that some of the others will, but even so I can still see with my naked eye the transition from like a green hue to a blue as I move it around, and I'm hoping my camera's picking that up, but it's quite bright under my lamp, and the sheen of the lamp and the metallics might be blocking that out. But it goes down absolutely beautifully with the airbrush. Now I know it's going to be a lot more painstaking hand brushing these metallics on, but they still hand brush on and they will still work fine. It's just that you'll have to build up the colour a lot more slowly if you're hand brushing, but as you can see it was a really fast process with the airbrush there. Now I'm going to try red Goblin, guys, and as I mentioned a moment ago, it's always a good idea to shake them up, so I'll be doing that with this one, and we'll be back in a second. Okay guys, so let's try out the red Goblin colour, which will be a mixture of green and red, I believe. Wow, I can already see that the colour shift on this one is going to be a lot more prominent than the Storm Surge, but we'll just carry on priming. Let's move that at the back. Right guys, I'm going to let that layer dry, come back in and give it one more coat. Oh, so let's give it another coat. I think that looks absolutely awesome, guys. And doing your own custom Space Marine chapter has never been more exciting, if you ask me, because you can actually literally use two-tone paints to make your own custom chapters, order some custom decals as well, and you know, you'd be very impressed. Your friends would be if you rolled up to a tournament with a custom painted Space Marine armor like this. That is just wicked. Okay guys, I'm going to try another colour now. Guys, so now I'm testing paints out from set 1, and I'm going to be testing Cobalt Blue. Okay, let's test out Cobalt Blue. Oh, I love this colour, guys. I am going to do a tutorial soon with my sorry about that guys, I thought there's no point in talking while the compressor fills up. I'm going to do a tutorial soon with my YouTube channel sponsors Goblin Gaming with a Tyrannid, and I'm going to be using one of these metallics to colour the carapace armour of the Nids. But this Cobalt Blue, it's like a purple blue. Again, not as as apparent as the Goblin red, which, as you can see there, is really easy to tell that it goes from red to green. But I actually like the subtle change more, I think. But anyway, let's carry on airbrushing. Right guys, I'm going to let that dry and we'll give it one more coat. What I'm going to do guys is I'm going to hit these models with some gloss varnish, which will make the metallics look even more reflective and make them look even cooler. So I'll be back in a moment, and after I've gloss varnished them using some Vallejo metal colour gloss varnish, I'll be using this stuff here, and we'll have a look what they look like once they've been gloss varnished. Okay guys, so we've got all three painted. Now I can't paint all 12 colours that have been sent to me today, as it'll be a very long video indeed, and unfortunately I just don't have the time to airbrush all 12 colours, and I don't actually have 12 marines at the moment, believe it or not. But yeah, so the colours that we've painted today, as you can see, they look absolutely wonderful. And the colour transition on the Goblin red, I think it was called, but you'll see earlier on in the video, looks really good, and the transition is very noticeable even on my camera, which is finding it difficult to pick up these transitions, but you can see there that the colour transitions pretty prominent. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, I gloss varnished these just to give them an even more of a sheen. And this is the Cobalt Blue, and you can see more so on the base than on the actual marine. It's easier to see that it's transitioning from like a purple colour to the Cobalt Blue, and I love this colour. It looks really cool. Now last but not least guys, we'll show you the Storm Surge colour. Now this one's got the most subtle colour transition out of all. It's like a yellowy green to a dark green, so the transition is very subtle. You might be able to pick it up on the base there, but these colours are just absolutely awesome guys. I can't wait to use more of them. As I said, I will be using them on a Tyranid tutorial shortly, and I can't wait for that. But if you've used these paints, let others know what you think of them. Also let me know what you think of the paints that I painted today in the comments field down below. I really want to hear your thoughts on these paints. Personally, I pretty much know as a matter of fact that they're going to airbrush much better than they're going to brush, because the consistency of the paint is really milky in colour, so you're going to have to paint in many thin layers if you're actually hand brushing these, which is not a problem, but it just means that it's going to be a much slower process. But airbrushing them, it was pretty much as easy as airbrushing any other colour, if I'm completely utterly honest. You've seen on camera how well they went down on the miniature. So again, huge thank you to Green Stuff World. Don't forget to check the description box down below, and thank you very much for watching this video guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.